Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. This is Afefe with Touched by Tarot and Beyond, and I am here to do, some of you are going to be enjoy this. This is one of your favorites, a pick a card reading around the energy, not just of the actual eclipse that we have coming up on April 8th. I'm filming this on April 1st. But also, for those of you who follow astrology, like April, you all is chock full of so much astrological power. There's so many interesting transits happening, and one that really caught my eye and I was sitting with Spirit and led me to do this pick a card for you all is around the intersection Mars going conjunct with Saturn. I believe that's going to happen around the 9th or 10th of April. And I was, doing a lot of research on that because when you think about those two energies, you've got Mars, which is all about aggression and taking action. It is the ruling planet of Aries, right? So it's all about like, get it, do it, fearlessness, just go in, get it done, make no excuses. And then conjunct with Saturn, which is about restriction, about taking your time, making sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Sometimes having to work super, super, super hard to get through something, to remove an obstacle, to see progress, etc. Saturn is the taskmaster, right? So how do those two, when they link up, how are they going to behave with one another? And what set me off, I had to share this with you all, and this, again, it's what led to this pick a card, is one astrologer that I follow said, listen, this Mars-Saturn conjunction is about feel the fear and do it anyway, right? Feel the fear, Saturn, limitations, restrictions, sometimes feeling, like what needs to be done is insurmountable, super hard. And then Mars that says, I really don't care. This is what is fitting to happen, right? Here's what's about to happen. So I have 3 piles in front of me, you all. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. My process is that in this case, I choose a catalyst card for you to choose which pile or piles you want. The cards underneath are face down. I have not seen them. I won't see them until I reveal them and interpret the cards for you. All right. So having said that, let's go in. The topic of this reading, I'd like you to set your intention, thinking about that Mars-Saturn conjunction, thinking about feel the fear, but do it anyway. Is the topic here is how do you banish your limiting beliefs? Okay, that's what I want you to hold. How do you banish your limiting beliefs? All right, pile number 1. With that in mind, the 2 catalyst cards that I pulled for you. One says hamster wheel, and it says here, surviving a daily hustle. And check it out. In the other deck, you know how Spirit does. We got a pig. And that pig is saying, beware of greed. So for pile number 1, banishing limiting beliefs could very well be about the money, but not just money. It could be anything that makes you feel prosperous. It could be your relationships. It could be your health on your total well-being, your home, how you are living, but somehow, some way it relates to your prosperity. All right. And beware of greed, that and surviving that daily hustle. It makes me limiting beliefs. It could be that for some of you, if you're drawn to this pile, there's the idea, your ideas around money and prosperity and what you really need. You may have become so accustomed to the hustle and the grind because there is a sense of having to work for everything you get, being very anti-greedy, in this world we're living in right now, we see how power corrupts, how money can corrupt. And so for some of you, that could be a source of a limiting belief because you've attached a negative connotation to wealth. All right. So think about that. Pile number 1. Pile number 2. We have some synchronicities with angel numbers. And it came with the needle and thread. It says a sincere wish will be granted. So if you're drawn here, those limiting beliefs could be around Could be around your faith or your challenge. You may have had or having a crisis of faith, so to speak, where you're looking for signs. You may feel a little frustrated that you're not getting the signs from your spirit guides, or feeling like your prayers aren't being answered or aren't answered in the way that it's making sense and it's clicking for you right now. But here there's some connection to your spirit guide, your spirit team, and your ability to see the signs and understand what's really happening. It's saying, and it's giving you that encouragement. A wish will be granted, but it has something to do with your limiting beliefs, banishing any beliefs around your ability to actually see the signs, read the signs, and know what to do as a result of it. All right. So there's a faith issue here. And finally, for pile number 3, if you're drawn there, the catalyst cards that I pulled, it says meeting, 2 or more people in discussions and planning, a meeting. And then your second card is an owl, good advice from a wise person. Those two go together really well, don't they? Because if you're meeting somebody, and there's some discussions going on. So maybe banishing beliefs around, if you're drawn to this, it could be Spirit is saying you may need some advice, some counsel, reaching out to friends, reaching out to people you trust, people whose ability to grasp what's happening in your life, what has caused your limiting beliefs. This could be talk therapy. It could just be some good old friendship time over dinner. But there's something here where in order for your limiting beliefs to be addressed and banished, it does involve the participation of someone else. All right? All right. So having said that, take a moment and think about that. Here we've got that money situation or some sort of financial issues around limiting beliefs with that hamster wheel and the pig. Some dichotomy between having too much or having too little, or feeling like you got to constantly grind to get something. That's a limiting belief. Here we've got something around faith, with that needle and thread, a wish being granted, but in order for it to be granted, you've got to be able to see the signs. So that this is more spiritually grounded, something around your faith and banishing something, some disbelief, some lack of faith that is keeping you from being able to read the signs and get that blessing that's going to be granted for you. And finally, the third one is there's a meeting. This is something here. In order for you to banish limiting beliefs, it involves another person or a mentor, a teacher, a trusted advocate, someone that really, whose advice and counsel will lead you to having an aha moment where you can then banish the belief that's holding you back. Maybe even around partnerships, trusting partnerships. We'll see what happens in those cards. So again, you may be drawn to more than one pile. These are all really interesting topics, or based on what's happening in your life right now, you may know exactly where you need to go. And speaking of where we need to go, let's go in on pile number 1. Let's take 2 and 3 over to the side. And we're going to go in on pile number 1. All right. So again, that is for those of you who were drawn to this, the pig, beware of greed, and being on that hamster wheel, grinding. All right, I'm going to put those here. Actually, I'm going to take them in the opposite direction. I'll put them up at the top. I want to make sure you can still see them. Okay, let's see what Spirit says. Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. All right, so we're thinking about well-being, thinking about generosity, money, all of that. So it's coming in on time with that, with your catalyst cards. We have the King of Swords, having authority over your thoughts, learning how to have more authority over your thoughts, and the Sun, success. You will. I'm already getting a message for those of you who chose this pile. Your ability to banish your limiting beliefs around money, around what you need to do, and actually seeing money and prosperity as a friend, as opposed to all the negative things that can be done with it. You're already in the process of that, and that Sun is taking you to a completion, a culmination with it. We have strength, fortitude, holding firm, and taming yourself, having discipline and restraint. And can I just hold that up for you so you can see that posture? Whoa. All right. So this is Banishing the beliefs that you have is going to take some strength and fortitude, pile number one. All right? It's not saying you got to put yourself in that same position. Lord knows if I chose this pile, I'd be like, "Woo! Is there a modification of that?" But there is that willingness. That's the word that I'm hearing. There is a willingness that you either already have or you will develop in your efforts to banish this energy, this belief. And this was probably either, if it was not implanted and some conditioning that you're undergoing as a result of how you were raised, then it is definitely tied to how you have witnessed wealthy people or images around wealth, how you have come to identify them as being used for, being wasted, not being appreciated, etc. And so you have set out to double up and show how hard you are willing to work for the gains that you make. We have bells, and deflection. Bells. There's something here. I think this is spirit. Let me show it to you. This is spirit talking about, they've been giving you indications or trying to talk to you through this to help you better understand your dynamic with wealth. And so ringing the bells, but there's the key word there is deflection underneath that. You see that? So there's something there, and I understand now why we got this King of Swords and that Page of Swords. It says voices, but it means swords. So there's all of this air energy. You see that? There's something that Spirit's been trying to communicate to you, pile number one, around this issue. This is not, you sitting here with me today in this reading, this topic is nothing new to you. This is something that maybe it's why you were drawn to it, to this pile, but this is an issue that's been with you for a while. And they've been trying to get your attention to it. There's a karmic relationship that you have, past life. There's a karmic relationship that you have to finances and to someone who had it. There is someone who had the finances, who misused them or in some way wasted them, and you paid a price for that. I'm looking at that Queen of Pentacles. You paid a price for that, and you had to figure out how to undo perhaps some damage that was been done with that waste, with that greediness, with that misdirection and mischaracterization of what wealth could really do and the blessing of it. So there's that karmic relationship. I feel like I want to put that over there with the bells. So that's what's happening. This eclipse is giving you an opportunity to banish your limiting beliefs because it's something that followed you into this lifetime from a prior lifetime. You've got breath. That is going to be an exercise for you in order to do this banishing, in order to welcome in the new with this eclipse. And we've got the scholar, investigation and research. This is such an interesting pull here, because this feels like Spirit is saying you are going to do more research into wealth. They want you to study wealth management. They want you to embrace wealth management. They want you to learn everything that you can around the benefits of wealth. And again, wealth just isn't just money, but I do feel for many of you, just because of this hustling, this surviving the daily hustle, it is around how you have accumulated your wealth, what you're doing with it, how much you have to save and invest versus just being on that hamster wheel, just trying to stay ahead of the game. And breaking that karmic relationship with a sense of someone else has it all, it's being wasted. And so there's that scholarship. They want you to take time to study how wealth is managed, how it is attracted, how it is kept, how it is multiplied. And again, if this is not specific to money, for some of you, I feel like there may be a few who fall into that category. It could be around the abundance of health and the abundance of your possessions. So it may not be just money in the bank. It could be property. It could be about home ownership. It could be about how you are taking care of or need more in your home environment. All right. Wow. And again, I promise you, I don't see these cards before I pull them. I am abundant. I attract everything I need. Oh my goodness. Where's the bells? What do I do with the bells? There's the bells. I'm going to put that right over there with the bells. Because that's what your spirit guides are trying to remind you of. All right. I am abundant and I attract everything that I need. Whoa. I'm blown away by that. And we have sweetness. Oh, the nectar of life. The honey of life, ready to drip. I want to put that with that sun. There's a connection there. There's a connection with all three of these. This breath of life. And notice that in this card, this is real small, but you can see it down there. See that subword, that subtitle, life? All right. There is the breath of life, along with sun, which is life-giving. It is, it promotes life. It is what stirs us up. It is what feeds us. It is what helps us grow. And the sweetness of life. This is all the banishing these limiting beliefs gets you over in here. And it's just about clearing up some karmic stuff that you've got going on, pile number 1. And it's going to take some strength. And you have authority. Wow. 10th house, Capricorn. Oh my, stop the music. Y'all, are you ready for this? Mars in Capricorn. Capricorn ruled by what? Saturn. Are you ready for that? I mean, talk about, like, is spirit here? I wish I had a bell right now to ring. I sure would. Watch me. Watch me do it. Oh, here we go. I'm going to ring the bell. And I'm going to do it light so I don't hurt your ears. There we go. Let's bring that in because clearly spirit is here. Clearly. So, let's break this down. Spirit wants you to take authority over what you had learned in past lives or past life, this karmic relationship with money. They want you to take it over, to become the authority over how you see. King of Swords, also authority over how you envision wealth and the application of wealth and the application of what you can do with your resources and the strength and the perseverance that you have, to the fortitude that you will need and can have in order to move forward. And that's why we go from the king who has authority to the page, which is new. I'm going to scoot that page over here by this life and this sweetness, because I think that's where spirit is leading you. There's a shift, and this eclipse is helping you banish this past energy. And you banish that energy by taking time to learn more about it, to really delve into, because there's a little bit of avoidance here. And that's fed into that karmic relationship, pile number 1. When you feel like all you can do is hustle, you're on that hamster wheel. And so all you can do is grind, and pay the bill and work some more and pay another bill and work some more and pay another bill, or take care of the kids, or help out a family member, or do whatever it is that you're doing with your resources, while in the meanwhile, other people, people around you and your families, etc., society are being pigs, quote unquote. There's this, I've got to work harder, do more, but there's an authority that you are taking in your belief. I am abundant. I attract everything that I need. There's an authority in that statement, and it shifts you into a pattern of where you breathe life into your finances, into your ability to prosper, to grow, to see wealth as your friend, to manifest. Queen of Pentacles, manifest through your voice and your mind, your intentions. There's a timing element here for you all as well. And it has to do with, as you go into summer, that's when the banishment really is going to occur. The after effects of this eclipse for you all is going to come in the form of your property, your possessions, your money, what you do for money, your approach to it, and how you feel about it. And again, they're reminding me, don't leave out health, because for some of you, you can't put a price on health, but there's something here that it's almost like if your energy has been expended to the point where you have felt depleted. Again, that karmic relationship, and spirit's been trying to ring that bell for you to get your attention, to say, listen, there's more for you to learn in this. That's your key to knowledge is key. Knowledge, pile number one, that is your key to banishing, because you're going to learn something through this knowledge. And it could even be that King of Swords is going to be a resource for you. That is the scholar. It could be books that you read, or workshops that you take, or something. Somehow you are exposed to this school of thought that approaches wealth and the goodness of it, the bounty of it, the life-giving qualities of it, the sweetness of it, so that you can breathe into that, literally breathe into that with your voice, with your intentions, with your ability to open your arms wide and accept what's going on in terms of what's available to you, and literally taking authority over your career, 10th house, your career, your ambitions, your desires for what kind of life you want to live, and what you are owed. And I mean owed as in that karmic relationship, that you have healed it. You have banished that limiting belief around your entitlement. I'm using that word purposefully but carefully. Your entitlement to having everything, all of the abundance that you need. And it's not about having to grind constantly to get it. It is about seeing it reflected in a different way, and having your energy toward it feel good, versus prompting anxiety or feeling overwhelmed or just constantly push. No, there's a relaxing, there's a breathe, chill out, and taste the honey, enjoy life, enjoy more of it, because in doing that, you take authority over this energy, and that authority is your key. Knowledge and authority is your key to banishing that limiting belief around abundance. All right, pile number one. I hope that pinged. It sure did feel good to me. Let me know your thoughts. All right, I'd love to hear from you. And with that, we are going to move on to pile number two. Those of you who were drawn to, oh yes, this was our faith pile, or I feel like faith. I can't wait to see what the cards are. The synchronicities around the signs, reading the signs, seeing the angel numbers and the signs, and the needle and thread. And it says, a sincere wish will be granted. So not just any wish. It's got to be, it's a wish, something that is really, really coming from a deeper part of your psyche and your soul. All right. So we're going to put those there. Take a sip of water. Lemon water is a thing, you all. All right. We have the Two of Wands. Comes with the Four of Swords. Seeing your way. Talk about recognizing the signs from your spirit team, and right away, Two of Wands. See that telescope? It is about seeing your way forward, seeing the signs, and getting clear. We have the Two of Cups. Twos are in the house. Partnerships are in the house. With the Hermit. What are you dedicating yourself to? Or what is your next journey to dedicate yourself to? I can see already this pile is, there are healers among you. There are those of you who know this about yourself, but you don't know how to move forward with it. You love spirituality. You love being around spiritual people. You've got to focus on moving forward, but you're just not clear yet. There and Spirit's saying it's cool. Don't freak out. Take your time. Four of Swords is a card where you need that clarity because the Hermit is no joke. Hermit ruled by Virgo. So as you dedicate yourself to this life, this discipline. Hermit, Virgo is very disciplined, and the Hermit is about the quest. It's an energy where the quest for knowledge, the quest for study, moving towards something bigger and more meaningful in your life. And that's where I feel like Spirit is sending you these signs. Your wish and your desire is to make a difference, to show up in your life, to live your purpose. There's something that's really driving you there, and you're focused forward, and you know what you love, but it's just the vision of how to do it has not become fully clear just yet. I have oh my gosh, and you know how I do, these are all different decks. So here we have divinely guided knowledge, wisdom, and guidance coming from a divine source, allowing our higher self to take charge and express its authentic nature and purpose. Wow. I'm blown away. I mean, what, and I tell you, I do not see these until we do this. And that's how I know Spirit is real. I'm like, I'm warm all over right now. That's how I know Spirit is real. Look what we were just talking about and then see what came. Divinely guided. That's like the third part of, these were your two catalyst cards, and then this one comes in right in alignment with that. Because for you all, pile number 2, it is all about banishing your limiting beliefs at this time during these transits. The eclipse and onward has everything to do with, how do I say? Allowing yourself. Some of you, please take this the right way. Some of you are control freaks. I say that with a kiss, okay? Some of you feel the responsibility of doing everything the right way. Another Virgo trait. It need, Virgo, the virgin, the perfectionist. So when you do things, you want them done the right way. As a result, you're focused forward. You know what you love, but there is that, I need to be able to see it crystal clear before I act on it. There's this part of you that, excuse me, is on the quest. And you love the journey. You love the journey. You love learning. You love the knowledge. You have such a deeply spiritual calling in your life. But there's also a time when there's a practical application to it. And that's the part that I think, that's the banishing the limiting belief, is for some of you, you are so focused on getting it right and taking it in that your vision forward has been stalled out. Because you want to make sure you got all the pieces in place before you actually put something into works. So on a practical level, let's say you've been taking spiritual courses. Let's say you do tarot or oracle readings and you've been thinking about doing them for other people, or opening up and joining some groups where you would have to show up and be prepared to do what you need to do it in front of others. And this is just an example, but so your thing would be, well, I got to know that I got to be sharp, I got to get to this point and reach this level of accomplishment before I would ever be willing to do it in front of others. That's your persona, that's your makeup, and that's a beautiful thing. But Spirit is saying you don't have to worry about that, because we will show up and work through you. That's all I'm doing right now, is I'm showing up and using my intuition and receiving the guidance from Spirit. This ain't a fefe. This is from Spirit. I sit with these decks. I choose these decks and I let Spirit guide me to choose. Ain't me. Let me take the me out of it. I allow myself to be guided to choose the decks, choose the topic, figure out, like, a lot goes into that before I sit down and start talking with you guys and doing this on camera. That's what I'm saying. Same thing applies to you. You don't have to worry about having it all figured out on the front end. You just have to show up and be divinely guided. Watch for the signs, and a sincere wish will be granted. Your wish to have this part of your nature flourish will be granted. There's staff here, a foundation. Are you going into business? Some of you are, you're either part of this thinking and this partnering and moving forward. You've got a business plan, and if you have achieved a certain level of proficiency in whatever this is, whatever your life calling is, and your angels are saying, watch for the signs. We'll show you how to move forward with that Two of Wands. And there's that staff. The staff, part of this staff feels like an actual staff, like a magician's staff, your foundation, like using your spiritual tools to lean on spirit. Spirit is saying, we are your staff. We do have your back. You can utilize us as your support. But this also feels like staff as in a real, in a real world application. It feels like having people who will back you up, who will join forces with you in an effort to do something, partnering, that Two of Cups, in an effort to do something that feels like it is around teaching the healing arts, writing, communicating, bringing people together. And for you, it's just really crucial to know for every step that you take that you have the sign on, that your spirit team has signed off on it. And they're saying, we're with you. You are divinely guided. Look for our signs. Now, we have phobias that are coming up on your past life. I actually really like that because you got that Hermit. Because again, going into that Virgo energy, sometimes, when we have phobias, and we're talking about, remember the topic here is banishing limiting beliefs. So if a phobia is a limiting belief, and perhaps you are phobic around partnerships because of circumstances, things that have happened to you could have contributed to some phobias that you have around partnerships. It could be phobias that you even have around health, because the Hermit, again, Virgo, very much an energy that deals with healing the body, the physical aspects of what we do day to day, our routines, our diet, our fitness, our search and quest for wellness and better health, our analytical skills. Those things, if there have been some fears implanted around that, this is the energy that your guides are coming to banish. Banish your limiting beliefs so that those phobias can get the heck out of Dodge. And here, speaking your word, voice. All right, here we go. This is being banished because you have something to say. You are a healer, you are a teacher, you are an artist, you are a lover, you are someone who moves things forward. Two of Wands. You can advance a topic, you can advance a thought, you can advance an area of study. And whatever it is that you have, maybe you don't like people. Not don't like people, but you know what I mean. In order for you to use your voice, maybe you prefer not to be the person who's at the center of attention. Maybe you'd be more comfortable kind of sitting over to the side. But there is something here. All of this learning that you're doing and the signs that you're getting, Spirit is saying don't resist, because speaking your word, utilizing your voice to share with others all of this knowledge that you have and this vision that you have moving forward, your love for this work, your love for a healthy lifestyle, for spiritual studies, because of all of this angelic energy that's around you. You have the Muse, generosity and naivete. Everything that you have learned is ready to put to use. That's what Spirit is saying. You are the Muse. You are the, how do I say? You are that, not conduit, catalyst. You are the catalyst. You are someone who when you explain something, when you get to a point you're comfortable using your voice and explaining things to people, helping them understand what your vision is, why it is that you believe in angels, in spirit guides, in God, in the divine, gods, goddess, deities, however the animal kingdom, mineral kingdom, whatever, all the magical forces, as you show your dedication to that using your voice. And this could also be imposter syndrome, anything that causes you the avoidance of stepping out or over analyzing it. And so that instead of stepping out, you go, well, let me think about it. Let me think about it. And Spirit is saying, no, you are the muse. There are people who will take your example and grow from it. They want you to share. Now here I have fall back. Retreat, pull back your energy, step away, take a needed break. That's what this Four of Swords is doing. Take a needed break. You will awaken to a new point of view. And it's amazing what a perspective shift can do. So that coincides with that Four of Swords. It's saying there is this, as you prepare to move forward, because you must. Look at that. Two of Wands, Two of Cups. You need the foundation, and that's a part of what this time of clarity is bringing you, is giving you the foundation to be really solid in yourself and banish the fears, banish the thoughts that you're not good enough, or what you have to contribute and say or do, that your product, your service, your knowledge, your whatever is not on par with someone else's. For some of you, there's a comparative quality to this, and your spirit angels, your team is showing up so strong to say, guess what? A sincere wish will be granted. I want you to focus on that word, sincere. A sincere wish, because this isn't haphazard for you all, pile number 2. What you're doing is, and this life that you're living, this passion that you have for the healing arts, again, however you express it. Some of you are artists, writers, healers in the healing arts. Some of you could be IT people, technical people, but you may be using technology in a way that disseminates healing information to the masses. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't put a limit on spirit, but it is all your voice. It is all your voice, and it is a sincere wish that you have to do this. And there's freedom. Spirit has come to give you the freedom. You're banishing limiting beliefs is going to give you the freedom to finally set you. Look at such a contrast to that. You can't them. That's it. Freedom from those phobias. Talk about banishment. Freedom from those phobias. And here we have, in the 11th house, we have Venus in Aquarius, detachment. See that? Detachment. Let me move these to the side for a minute. I want to deal with those three, because those three go very well energetically together. Falling back to get that clarity. And in order to do that, you need a sense of detachment from the outcome. That's what Spirit is saying. And again, that goes back to that Hermit Virgo energy, because if for some of you, in order for you to do something, you have got to know, it's almost like you want the blueprint ahead of time to know it's going to be done right, airtight, nipped and tucked and all of that. And Spirit is saying, but that's part of our job. You just need to read the signs and thread the needle and be divinely guided and detach from the outcome. Be afraid, but do it anyway. Mars-Saturn are start. If you heard me at the beginning of the tape, at the introduction, and one of the astrologers was talking about this Mars, excuse me, Mars-Saturn conjunction. Sorry about that. I've done a lot of talking today. Mars-Saturn conjunction, and how, Saturn can sometimes feel restrictive and can instill a little bit of woof, it's so much, it's overwhelming. And Mars says, I don't care about all that. We're going to do it anyway. Feel the fear, do it anyway. And that's what this is about. It's saying detach enough. It's not all on you. Your spirit guides are here. They want you to read the signs, let yourself be divinely guided, and be ready to be the muse, or you may find the muse who is generous, who believes in the cause. And it will confirm the fact with that Two of Cups that you are supported in your endeavors, very much around your passion, your mission in life, and you will banish the phobias so that you have the freedom to really share your gifts with the world. All right, pile number 2. Wow. I'm floored, That was such this really feels life-changing for you. And I know that there have been so many astrologers and readers and pundits who have talked about the power of these eclipses that we're undergoing right now and how they are truly going to be life-changing. And there's guesswork in that. I mean, none of it, we don't get the blueprint. We don't know exactly how that plays out, but for sure it is playing out in a way for you all that's getting you further along your path, and in a way that rids you of any doubt of your ability and your unique talent, and that needs to be, the world needs what you have to offer. That's what I'm hearing. All right, moving on now, pile number 3. Those of you who were drawn to this owl, good advice from a wise person. And then we had a meeting. So there seems like, there was a feeling of partnership there, a feeling of gathering, that in order for you to banish limiting beliefs, it has to do with some sort of dynamic that you are going to have or should seek out with others or a partner. You have the 3 of Wands, already looking at groups, people, partners, discussions. The 8 of Swords. So there could be some frustration there around exactly who that is or what or how to go about that. Let's go deeper. We have the 8 of Wands, 2 8s. Numbers of mastery, numbers of getting there, making progress. And so there's a breakthrough in your energy. With that 3 of Wands, there's a breakthrough in your energy, and you banish people by getting with like-minded souls and like-minded people. Pile number 3, that is like a generator for you. That's like a battery for you. That gets you going. When you operate really well in a group dynamic, or at the very least, in a partnership dynamic. You have the Star. I love it. Because there's a forward momentum there. And there is something that you are working on or will work on or get involved in, if you chose this pile, that evolves over time in a way that you will look back. For you all, it's going to be hindsight, like for real 2020. You're going to look back and understand that once you decided that this partnership, this group was okay, it not only banished the limiting beliefs of self-talk, self-doubt, all of that sort of anxiety around that, to something that feels so much more hopeful and delightful. You have a spiritual awakening. God, dog, I love it. The process of awakening to the higher self and spirit within, awakening beyond the confines of the ego, and beginning of a journey into a spiritual path and soul fulfillment. Let me just hold that up for a second. All right? Let me just hold that up for a second. You can take a picture, do a screen grab, something, all right? Because some of you might need to hold on to that message for a minute. And how well does that tie into that 8 of Swords? Because that is what you are undergoing. And this awakening is, you know what? All right, Spirit, tell me how to move it. There it is. All right? Because this spiritual awakening is what is coming for you. That's that 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is movement. It is and then Wands being a really spiritual element. So 8 of Wands is movement. There is something, and notice the fire here too. Wands, fire. There is something Wands again, three of inspiration. That's one. So there's a lot of fire coming for you all, or around you, as an energy, as an element, as a spiritual element. Pile number three. You are banishing limiting beliefs around your ability to make meaningful connections that will stick, and where you are accepted unconditionally, and where you figure out and finally discover that you are not alone. Because some of you are in situations where, either because of your lifestyle, your beliefs, your habits, your hobbies, whatever it is, you have felt somewhat outside, like an outsider or underappreciated, or where things with people just haven't clicked. And this spiritual awakening, that is, your limiting beliefs around your ability to fit in, to be appreciated, to be able to completely be in synergy, be in sync with others, with other people, as a group dynamic, and or as a one-on-one dynamic. That is changing, and you are going through a spiritual awakening with some teaching. There is someone who will be of great benefit to you, whether you've already met them or not, or currently working with them. But there is a key to that, and man, does it propel you forward. It really does. Talk about a spiritual awakening. You have a cave and a retreat. That's what life has felt. I feel like that's more in the past. And in fact, this deck is it has to do with that. It's a shamanic medicine deck. It has to do with a cave, but it means not being shut off from others. It's almost like, for you all, it's emerging from the cave. You could have gone through a period of retreat, a period of where you really haven't socialized very much, or you've just accepted. Some of you have felt like the black sheep in your family. You've been treated like the black sheep in your family or in your workplace, where people just don't seem to get you, or you're not really clicking all the way in terms of establishing strong connections and relationships. But you are coming out of that cave. You are literally coming out of that cave and emerging into this group. And we have transportation. Where are you going? Let me pull another one here. Where are you going? A lake, depth, transportation. From emerging from the cave, transportation, and a lake. I almost feel like this is a place, because remember, we got this wise person here. You know what? Pile number three, you all might be preparing to take a workshop, or Spirit is saying keep your eyes open for a workshop. And it could be near a body of water, or you could be, if you currently live near a body of water, it could be going to that place to do some of this work, to release, to have this spiritual awakening, to see this new beginning, and especially in a group context, if that's available to you. The Spy Master, knowledge and distrust. Let me show that to you. That's what contributed. That's what made you go in. All right, I got it. Banishing your limiting beliefs around whether you fit in. On the one hand, it's saying here's the keys. The raven is showing up to say, here's the keys to understanding what got you to that place. Because for some of you, it's been a part of your thinking for so long that it's almost second nature to you. And you may not even, if someone said, well, you don't trust people, and you might have a knee-jerk reaction to that and say, but what are you talking about? Of course I trust people. But there's a history there. There's some things that have inhibited you from being able to truly blossom in your relationships. And you're moving past that. There's something, I feel like there's some sort of event that will happen for you that transports you into a different group dynamic. And again, if you get an opportunity, if you either live near a lake or you get an opportunity to visit it, to visit one, to do ceremony around one, there's something that is revealed to you through water and through that dynamic. of being around water, because it's like there's this whole other world that spirit wants to show you. You know this world, and they want you to see what's beneath the surface. And there's a part of you that's really ready to do that because of this time spent in the cave where you've retreated from people. But that retreat was more anxiety, not anxiety provoking, because you could do worse than an Eight of Swords, but it's just where you may have questioned yourself more. Am I really meant for people? Maybe time alone. I can't tell you how many readings I do for people, or even sometimes I tell myself, I'm fine by myself. I'm fine. I love my alone time, and all of that's cool to an extent. There is also a time when being in a group dynamic moves us farther together. The star is ruled by Aquarius. Aquarius is that philanthropic sign, all very concerned with humanity, with humankind, with making advances to things, ruled by Uranus. So making advances in communication, doing things a different way, having a little bit of a rebellious streak even. It's about building groups, and it's time for you to do that. And that opportunity is coming for you. I am safe in my arms. I care for myself like no one else. That's what was going on in that cave. I really think some of you, if you chose this pile, something happened or has happened or has been a pattern in your lives where your dynamic with other people, either something happened to cause mistrust, or you feel more comfortable sitting back almost like a spy. And that's not saying, we ain't taking it to no extreme like stalking or anything, but we're saying you may be more comfortable in observation mode versus the dynamic of interacting with people. But there's something banishing that limiting belief, because it's almost like you operate that way because that's where you're safe. I'm safe in my arms. I care for myself like no one else. That's what you learned how to do. But there's something transporting you beyond that into that group dynamic. And that is your spiritual awakening. And it comes from these teachings, this meeting that you have either one-on-one or within a group context. Okay? And we have juggling. That's a part of the spiritual awakening. And I notice even the fire in both of those, because it's almost like you're banishing limiting beliefs by going through, coming out of the cocoon of that cave and going through the changes that you have to go through to be transported into this awakening that spirit has. And that's a juggling act. It's not going to be snap your fingers overnight, because this has become a part of your persona. It's become a part of who you are. That self-care, that retreating, that going into yourself, that being very much an introvert. Some of you may identify very strongly with being an introvert. But in spirit is saying that's fine. No shade. We ain't throwing no shade on that. But there is something more. And so to banish, because one of the reasons you become so proficient at that is because of a limiting belief around your ability to make and sustain connections with people, with groups and others. And this energy of whoever this wise person is, having these meetings, two or more people discussing and planning, this invites in a group dynamic that, whether you realized it or not, has been lacking, in the sense that in order for you to have the full spiritual awakening you're meant to have and get into that star energy, it does require that group dynamic. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And your final card is, love it, harmony. The sun in Libra, 7th house, harmony. This is relationships. That's what we've been talking about, a different word for it in most of your reading. Okay, relationships, harmony. It's been easier for you to find that harmony within yourself, because then what's the struggle? You know what I mean? It's a discipline that you have developed, and I think you're to be, a lot of credit for that. It's not easy, but having done that, now it is time for you to find harmony in that group dynamic with others, and go out into the world, to be a part of the world, to have that to be transported, to go places that you have not typically gone. It's time to step out of the cave, out of the shadows, out of the isolation, the loneliness, out of the limiting belief that you don't fit in, or others won't accept you, or you're too old, or your health isn't good enough, or you don't have enough money, blah, blah, blah. All of those quote unquote limiting beliefs are banished by virtue of this connection. As you meet whoever this is, good advice from a wise person, as you go into counsel with people who are like-minded. Maybe there are other people who have convinced themselves that they were introverts, or maybe there are extroverts who need to learn more about having more self-acceptance, and that could be something that you bring to the table. But that's the point. There's a mix here. There's a mix, and there is juggling, and juggling is going from one way of life and easing yourself, juggling to go into another. And Spirit's not trying to douse you with a bucket of cold water here. They're saying we recognize the backdrop. We understand what the backstory is and why it is the way it's been. But now it's time for you to prepare yourself to go on that lake and see what lies beneath. See what lies beneath, so that in finding that, you will find a different part of your soul. That's your spiritual awakening. You'll find a different part of your soul so that you can connect with others who are like-minded. All right? All right. Oh, it felt so good. Again, I thank you all so very much. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can visit my website. It's www.trulytouchedbytarot.com. All one word together. trulytouchedbytarot.com. And take really good care. I'll get back on pretty soon around the eclipse. And of course, I'll check in with you on some political stuff. Take good care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.